Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense. A calmer, tamer, revamp. Doesn't look like that at all with the background. Hey, we got a new background. Same shirt, same guy, different background. Stay tuned next time where you might have same background, same guy, different shirts. But hey, we're at Nightly Nonsense. We've revamped it to really challenge you on some current event things, some thoughts, some stuff that maybe would just have you chew on things. Listen, last week I spent 26 hours in a hayfield. 26. Not because that's my favorite thing to do, although it's very beneficial, because that's just what you have to do when you go to hay. And there's this really cool thing about the hayfield, right? When I'm doing round bales or square bales, you mow the hay, I ted out the hay, spread it all out, it dries, I rake it back all up into rows, which is kind of like, you're like, wasn't it in rows before you tedded it out? And the answer is yes, right? And then I rake it all back into rows, and then I bale it up. Here's what happens. Regardless, every single year for 25 years, right, I have done my fields hay. Before that, I did it with my grandfather in these fields. You got to do the same work every single year. Same amount of time it takes to mow everything, to rake everything, to ted everything out, right? The difference comes in the harvest, right? This year, I was round baling last week, and I ended up at the end of it with 85 round bales. Now that might not sound impressive to some of you who do thousands and stuff like that. That's not the point. The point is I did all the work not knowing how many bales I was going to get. Last year on the same exact amount of property, I got about half, a little over half of those round bales, right? So every single year I have to put in the same effort, same energy, same time, same everything, and different outcome. Different outcome every single year. Next year, I'll go expecting to get 85 bales and I'll get 30. And the next year, I'll expect 85 bales and I'll get 100. And the next year, I'll get 70. You don't know, but you got to put in the same effort, the same time, the same energy. Do you know that brings me to our life in general? Do you know that every day you need to go to work and you're expected to put in the same time, same energy, same effort, but you don't really know what's going to come out of it? We never really know what's going to be the harvest. That's what God says. The problem is God says we plant, we water, He grows it. It's up to God how it grows. It's not up to me how it grows. I cannot make it rain yet. I can't make it stop raining yet, right? I can't do those things. And so some years the rain, the lack of rain, it just affects the growth, and God knows all of that. God is making it grow. I just get to harvest it at the end. I put in the same work, the same energy. Do you know that's what gets disappointing? We do Bible studies, we do small groups, we do our relationships, we do work, we do our children's stuff, we do fun stuff, we do all of this stuff. And sometimes we put in the same amount of energy. Man, we have prepped for an hour for our Bible study. We read, we looked up things, and man, we prepped for an hour. And everybody just eats it up and loves it, and they stay for hours and hours and hours, and we're talking about it's just the greatest night ever. People are getting close to Jesus. The next week, we're like, all right, we're going to do it again. Let's do it again. I put in another hour, and I get all kinds of examples and get all kinds of stuff and do all kinds of things. And then guess what? Nobody gets what I'm saying. Nobody understands anything. The harvest is way less. Rather than a really great night, maybe somebody gets offended, maybe somebody gets hurt, maybe somebody leaves confused, maybe somebody leaves. We can put the same amount of energy into things. But God's growth pattern is different. See, it's the thing that I tell people all the time, right? The only way to ever get disappointed in life is if you get an expectation. If you have an expectation. And when you and I begin to make programs, make methodology, right? Make processes, because if we do it this way, this is what's going to happen. If we do it this way, here's what the result's going to be. We're going to be in trouble. God never promises that if you do the same thing, the same way, that you're going to get the same results. Yet we build entire ministries, programs, businesses on the same thing. And it's funny because people like to cook, and they cook and they cook, they bake, they do all the things, right? And they throw things together. Somebody eats it and says, "Oh, wow, this is the greatest apple pie ever. You need to market this. You need to do something with this." And so we do this exact same thing. Somebody else eats it and go, "My grandmother's apple pie is better." It's this concept, right? That sometimes we put the same energy, the same effort into things, but the results just aren't the same. And if we keep looking for the exact same results, the exact same effort, the exact same all this stuff, then we're going to end up with a problem. So here's the truth. Here's what you need to focus on tonight. The truth is, you need to put the same amount of effort, the same amount of energy into the things that you're doing. If you're doing a Bible study, do it with the same amount of energy, same amount of effort, all the things. If you're going to work, do it with the same amount of energy, same amount of effort. Put the same amount of energy, same amount of effort into your marriages and into your relationships and in all these things. But understand that God brings the growth. God brings the excess. God brings all of the things. And sometimes he's just not going to work the same way twice. The truth is, if any two of your days of work are exactly the same, there's probably a problem. Probably a problem. Because even with the exact same people at the exact same machines for the exact same hours, right? With the exact same lunch break and the exact same regular other breaks, there ought to be something different about the day. I mean, God makes every day different. He does all of these things. So I'm going to challenge you tonight to put all the energy, all the effort into what you're doing, but allow the growth to come from God. Allow him to make every single day different in nature. Don't look at the harvest and get disappointed by quantity. You just be ecstatic that there's a harvest to have. Right? We get so frustrated when the harvest isn't the same as it was the week before, and we put the same time, energy, and effort into it. Imagine Jesus. 1 minute he's feeding 5,000 people plus. The next minute they're all going away because he gave a hard teaching. It's okay if I have the food, but I don't want the teaching. Right? We just got to leave things up to God. So, hey, chew on that for a little bit. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, new shirt, Nightly Nonsense.